Hearty welcome, students. I'm Dr. S. Chandrabose, working as head of civil engineering section. Presently working at Sri Sangameswara Government Polytechnic, Jahirabad. So, from the fifth semester, that is a subject that is construction management and entrepreneurship, with the subject code 18C 502C. So, in the present video lesson, I have taken up the unit one, that is first chapter, major topic, that is introduction and organization aspects. Introduction and organization aspects to construction management. So, with the subtopic that is introduction to construction management, I have prepared a video lesson for about 50 minutes, for a duration of 50 minutes, and I have taken the teaching aids, PowerPoint presentation, and animations. So, what are the learning outcomes in this subject? On completion of this period, all of you would be able to define the construction management, okay, know the objectives and advantages of construction management, know the need or necessity, the purpose for the construction management, and also you'll be able to understand and know the factors involved in construction management. Further, you will be made to know the definition for planning, very important word in construction management, and also you'll be able to state the conditions necessary for planning, and what is the set of data that is required for planning, and importance of planning. So these are the various sub aspects that we are going to see in this present lesson. So, in addition to the definition for the construction management and also the objectives and advantages of the construction management, you'll be made clear why we at all should know, that is anything about construction management. That is need for construction management. And similarly, what are the various factors that are involved in the effective management of the construction industry? That's construction management. And then focus will be shifted towards the very important aspect of the construction management, that is planning. In terms of planning, in addition to the definition and the conditions necessary for planning, you will understand what is the data, the set of data, various aspects of data that are required for effective planning in construction management, and also really what is the importance of construction management also we would like to know in this present lesson. So this forms a very important and fundamental aspect of the construction management related to the objectives, that is advantages, necessity, factors involved in construction management, everything about planning, very important aspect of the construction management. All these things we are going to understand. These are the learning outcomes for the present lesson, which is prepared for a duration of about 50 minutes. Now, when you look at the introduction part of the construction management, in order to develop the national economic conditions, That is the first-hand goal of the governments at both at all levels. In fact, center and state in every level, in order to develop the economic conditions. Half or more than half of the expenditure is accounted for construction activities. It forms very important aspect of the infrastructure development. Construction industry is an important element of the infrastructure development of the objective of government. Therefore, the construction industry it must be backed by the latest, with the very latest management concepts to achieve the good results. We should not continue with the worn out, old, outdated, out of use concepts. You should come out of that, and you must update yourself with the latest management concepts and all the management tools that are required in order to achieve the good results. So the industry is to be seen that it must be backed by the very latest management concepts. That's one of the very important ideas that you should possess in your mind when you try to understand about the construction management. Any construction activity demands the necessity of managing your speed or speedy construction, control on quality, economy, and coordination. Any construction activity. So it generally demands management for speedy construction, quickness, time saving, and without compromising on the quality. That is quality control. Without being extravagant. That is, it should always be economical in your outlook, in terms of planning, in terms of execution, in terms of getting things done. Okay, purchase of materials, labor management in every aspect of the construction. You should have a quite economical outlook, and also the coordination between the money, materials, and machines. Okay, must be there. These are all several various important aspects that you have to look up or look at, which demands management for. Okay, to just put them in briefly in 4 points, you can say speedy construction, quality control, economy, and coordination. Then we often use the word management. Now we are using the word construction management, whether it is construction or anything else. What do you exactly mean by management? The very word management presupposes that it is a creative and innovative force. Who is the innovative force? The management itself should is supposed to be an innovative, is a creative and innovative force, trying to secure the maximum returns, of course, by the optimum utilization of the resources and time, that too at optimum cost. This is the beauty of the management concept. It's not only the creative and innovative force which is trying to secure the maximum returns. It has to focus on optimum utilization of resources and time, that too at optimum cost. So it's a creative and innovative force. It should secure the maximum returns, undoubtedly. So two important points we have to keep in mind is optimum utilization of resources and time at optimum cost. An efficient management brings the human and material resources like machines, materials, and money together and requires coordination among various activities. And efficient management brings the human and material resources like machines, materials, and money together. That means it brings them closer together in terms of coordination. That's what you have to understand. Together means it's not just putting them together, but you have to see to it that there must exist a beautiful coordination between or among money, materials, and machines. And That's what it requires, coordination among various activities related to machines, materials, and money. That's another important concept you should keep in mind. And further to say, construction management is a systematic method which involves various activities such as planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling the various activities in any construction industry. Construction management is a systematic method which involves planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling. These are the major activities. These are the various activities in any construction industry. Yes, it's a systematic method which involves the various activities and also the coordination among these activities between planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling. These are four important words you should keep in mind as the components of construction management. POCC, that is planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling. Good. So once again, to focus or to highlight or to bring to your attention the four important themes of the construction management are nothing but planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling. The first component, that is planning, that we'll be discussing from the half of the lesson, that is beyond the half of the second part of the lesson. Second part of the lesson, we are going to focus on the word planning. It's very important. Whereas the definition of planning is factors involved in planning, the importance of planning, everything we'll be discussing. But for now, are you aware? Is it made clear to you that these are the four important themes of the construction management: planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling? Please note down these four words. Okay. To complete the work within the budget and stipulated time, what is that? We are discussing the objectives of construction management. Be very clear about these objectives. So unless you are clear, unless you are uh, aware what are the real objectives of construction management, as a civil engineer, when you work in a construction industry, you cannot achieve those objectives. In any pursuit, you must be clear about the objectives so that you will work in harmony in the assignment given to you, keeping in view, particularly in construction industry, as I said, planning, organizing, controlling, and coordinating. In all these things, you must see to it that the following objectives that we are going to now discuss are to be achieved. That is your goal. So you should always be thirsty to complete the work within the budget and stipulated time. That's the real focus of a construction engineer. Whether you work as at the level of diploma engineer, that is assistant engineer or assistant executive engineer, or a project engineer, or when you rise to any level in the construction industry, the first and foremost task you should keep in your mind is that you have to complete the work, of course, without compromising on the quality, without compromising on anything else. This must be achieved. That is, you must look towards completing the work within the budget and within the stipulated time. And also, to evolve a suitable method for high quality workmanship. As I told you, you are not supposed to compromise on the quality. So high quality workmanship, you underline the word workmanship. It's not that you engage certain persons, the so-called skilled person. You should know what kind of quality outcome that is achieved. that is expected to be achieved through those people, through those skilled persons. For that, not only the skilled persons, you should know the selection of the material, you should know the selection of the machinery, you should know the operation of the machinery. Either you should operate sometimes, or you are required to guide others to operate, utilize the materials, or operate the machines and everything. You know, you are supposed to evolve a suitable method for high quality workmanship in each and every subtask of your job. And you should always motivate the people for optimum performance. See, human beings, they are called as resources. When they give the outcome, that is output, uh, in terms of optimum performance only, you can call them as resources. Resources in terms of labor, resources in terms of engineers, managerial professions, whatever that is. What is required is there must be a kind of motivation for the people to be able to give the optimum performance. Okay, so to complete the work within the budget and stipulated time, to evolve a suitable method for high quality workmanship, to motivate the people for optimum performance, and to create team spirit in the organization. So motivation gets fructified, it gets a real fulfillment when a team spirit is created in the organization. So within individuals, you call it as motivation among the individuals, and between in terms of in between two teams or among the more than two teams, in terms of teams, not in terms of individuals, there must be a team spirit in the organization. And the objective of another objective of construction management is to take sound decisions by even the lowest management level. Yes, so taking decisions, that is sound decisions, quick decisions, wonderful decisions, that is expected to be done not only at the managerial cadre level, in every and each and every task at any level, there is a possibility to take a sound decision. That's why even at the lowest management level also, decision making process should be very good. And also, we should be able to provide safe and satisfactory working conditions for all personnel that you cannot compromise on. So, once again, to see what are the objectives of construction management: to complete the work within the budget and stipulated time, to evolve a suitable method for high quality workmanship, to motivate the people for optimum performance, and also to create team spirit in the organization, to take sound decisions by even the lowest management level, to provide safe and satisfactory working conditions for all personnel. These are the to be precise. To be precise, the six objectives of the construction management. There may be many. You can take the elements out of these six objectives. You can be very clear about the many more objectives also. But these six objectives will summarize the main objective of the construction management. So then, are we not supposed to know the advantages of construction management before jumping onto the theory or practice, in practice, practical principles, practical execution, whatever that is? You will do it well only when you know the advantages of the construction management. So the first one is the construction management helps as a key for completing the given task. The very word management, that's a beautiful thing there. The construction management, we understood what is a management, that it's a systematic method, and anything else. All the beautiful things are discussed about the construction management. Now, the construction management, it helps as a key for completing the given task. It accelerates the rate of construction. Not only it helps as a key for completing the given task, it further accelerates the rate of construction. It motivates the people to the effective utilization of resources. It helps to control quality and workmanship, makes any activity more economical. It helps as a key for completing the given task. Okay, it accelerates, helps, accelerates, motivates, accelerates the rate of construction, motivates the people to the effective utilization of resources, and also it helps to control quality and workmanship. It makes any activity more economical. These are the several advantages of construction management. Then, what does, after all, an efficient management do? What does this management word or deed indeed? What is this as a tool, management tool? What does it do? An efficient management brings the human and material resources like machines, materials, and money together and coordinates among the various activities. An efficient management brings the human and material resources like machines, materials, and money together and coordinates among the various activities. Okay? And what are the resources required for construction management? Yes. These four M's, M1, M2, M3, M4, like that, you can understand. First thing is men, and then comes the material, and then comes the machinery, and then comes the money. The first thing is money. The other things can be put, of course, in slightly different order also, don't mind, but the first thing is men. Then better to say about the material, because without material, you cannot, the machinery cannot take into it. It is operated only for the sake of the material processing. And of course, money is required in order to buy the material and buy the machinery, pay for the men and everything. So money is anyway important thing. So men, money, material, and machinery. The four M's any construction manager has to keep in mind. If he can play with, I should not say play with, but when he is able to uh, coordinate, that's a perfect word for this, coordinate among these four elements. That's men, material, machinery, and money. That's the real construction management. And of course, that's what management is. Now, uh, again, these four words I'm just uh, bringing to your attention that it is when you are asked to answer for what is the necessity, why is construction management necessary, what's the purpose, again you can put back in these four words. It will be suitably a fitting answer that it is necessary to go for construction management, for speedy construction, for control and good control and quality, for optimum utilization of resources, and also the very important thing is time, optimum utilization of time, and any other resources also have to be optimally utilized without compromising on the quality. And you should always focus on the speedy construction, because time, optimal utilization of time involves without compromising on anything else, you should go for the quickness of the construction, that is speedy. I mean, that's completing the schedules within time, within the stipulated time, within the budget and within the stipulated time. All these things happen. So why is it necessary? You can you can at once reply that it is for speedy construction, for control and quality, for optimum utilization of resources and time. Good. So, and also for the ability to estimate the required manpower, material, machinery, and finance. Estimation, ability to estimate, to underline the word estimate. So, further, the need for construction management comes into picture in terms of the ability to estimate the required manpower, required material, required machinery, and finance. To select and procure materials, manpower, and machinery. So earlier I have said that ability to estimate. The other one is ability to select and procure materials, manpower, and machinery, and also to have proper coordination among various activities, and to sequence the various activities. Not that activities are there, you cannot do it without in sequence, without following a sequence. One is dependent on each other. It's like symbiotic thing. One is dependent on each other. One is connected to everything is connected to everything. particularly in construction industry, there are certain things which you can perform anytime, but most of the things should be done in sequence. One task is completed, then only you can start another task. Therefore, to have a good sequence, meaningful sequence for the various activities involved in a project in a systematic way, you need construction management. And also to complete the work within optimum time and optimum cost, of course, to maintain quality of work, you need the construction management. And further to say, the important thing is to go for planning and programming of different works. That's nothing but a part of construction management. Where also the need for construction management comes into picture. And to check the progress of work with respect to allotted time. All these things are involved in the construction management. Construction management allows you to take advantage of all these aspects. Okay, so let me just read them out once again so that you can remember them well. Speedy construction, control and quality, optimal utilization of resources, optimal utilization of time. And these things get reflected once again in further components like ability to estimate required manpower, material, machinery, and finance, to select and procure materials, manpower, and machinery, to have proper coordination among the various activities, to sequence the various activities involved in a project in a systematic way, to complete the work within optimum time and optimum cost, and to maintain the quality of work, planning and programming of different works, to check the progress of work with respect to allotted time. These are the many of the various essential points necessary, which makes you feel that it's necessary. What is necessary? The construction management felt necessary. Okay, then we will focus on the factors involved in the construction management. As I told you, planning, organizing, controlling, and coordinating. Okay, or you can say planning, scheduling, organizing, and controlling. These are the factors involved in construction management. And very important factor that's involved in construction management is selection. It's a very important word. Selection of proper materials, its cost, including lead charges, and the magnitude of manpower and equipment. This is another important factor. First important factor is the processes such as planning, scheduling, organizing, and controlling. And also selection of proper materials, its cost, including lead charges, magnitude of manpower and equipment, availability of material, future demand, and the probability of increase in cost. Similarly, the appropriate time for using a particular equipment during the construction. You cannot use a particular equipment whenever you want. There is a slot, there is a fixed time, an appropriate time at which you can go for using the particular equipment during the construction. And also, don't forget about the procurement of materials and machinery, which is important, right? Without which you cannot go for the construction activity. And this important factor you should remember, should not forget the probable time delays due to natural conditions. We said that speedy construction is important. So, for speedy construction to happen without compromising on quality, sticking to the schedules, complete them within the stipulated time, you must be aware of the probable time delays due to the natural conditions and also skills required to finish the task. It's not the person, but the skill in him makes him a skilled person. So, selection of the men and material, in which selection of the skilled persons, procuring the quality materials, and also checking whether the skills are there within the engaged personnel. Okay, and bringing out their talent and skills, which is required to finish the task, will go a long way in giving a fulfillment and meaning to the construction management. And another factor which, though mentioned in the last, is not least but the important thing is coordination among the different organizations. That's another important factor, coordination among the different organizations. Okay, so these are the factors involved in, okay, construction management. Let me quickly read out once again. So planning, scheduling, organizing and controlling, selection of proper materials, its cost including lead charges, magnitude of manpower and equipment, availability of material, future demand, and the probability of increase in cost, the appropriate time for using a particular equipment during the construction, procurement of materials and machinery, and probable time delays due to natural conditions, skills, the set of skills set that is required to finish the task, coordination among the different organizations, are the several important factors involved in the construction management. Then let us focus on the scope of the construction management, because there will be a scope for every subject and every person in whatever undertaking that he does, or the management, the so-called construction management involves. So within that scope only we have to work. It may be very wide sometimes, and if you do not know the width, the very wideness of the construction management, you may just work in a very narrow environment, narrow attitude, narrow outlook, or narrow thinking. So you are supposed to know in the beginning itself what is the scope of construction management. To make the projects more economical and successful, the civil engineering personnel should possess the knowledge in the following areas. Yeah, so it gives you a reflection of the scope of the construction management: preparing plans, estimates, specifications, and project reports, execution of works as per the plans and drawings, programming the activities, organizing and controlling the quality of work, preparing plans, estimates, specifications, and project reports, execution of works as per the plans and drawings, programming the activities, organizing and controlling the quality of work, organizational setup and the duties of various officers, scheduling of works through management techniques such as CPM and PERT, okay, and knowledge of contract systems, methods of execution and accounting. All these things give you an indication of the scope of the construction management, okay, and optimum use of manpower and machinery, good labor relations and labor welfare. Yeah, okay, knowledge of industrial psychology and labor acts. Yeah, you are supposed to know the something about the labor acts also. Otherwise, you may have to face so many problems. Industrial psychology, labor acts, labor relations, labor welfare, optimum use of manpower and machinery. All these are very, very important, uh, which form the scope of the construction management. That's good. Okay. Yeah. Now, let us shift to, that is to say, progress towards our learning. It's not mere shifting. You're climbing up the ladder from the definition of construction management, factors involved in construction management, the necessity of construction management, and from that, now you are going to understand a step further. I think you can say the very first part of the construction management, that is nothing but planning. Very important word. That is planning. Okay. Yes. The process of determination and formulation of the different steps and events in a particular task. The process of determination and formulation of the different steps and events in a particular task. That is planning. In whatever aspect, this definition holds good. The process of both the determination and then immediately the formulation of the different steps and events in a particular task. That is planning. Then what is preliminary planning? Yeah. So in terms of planning, this word preliminary planning, that is a prefix preliminary added to the word preliminary planning, makes so much sense for the construction management. The planning carried out by the engineering department on initiation of the proposal for a project, either from public or government. That's what is important here to understand. The planning carried out by the engineering department on initiation of the proposal for a project, either from public or government. While planning, site investigation has to be carried out, and the department has to submit preliminary estimate along with project report. While planning, site investigation has to be carried out, and the department has to submit preliminary estimate along with project report. This one is very important. Site investigation. Okay. So after that is when you think about the preliminary planning, the site investigation, which involves of course several stages, right from the initial visiting to reconnaissance that you called, and till the end, whatever the investigation you have to carry out. So while planning, this word site investigation makes more sense and it has to be carried out. And finally, the department has to submit a preliminary estimate along with project report. The site investigation is linked to the preparation and submission of the preliminary estimate along with project report. That's what is important. Planning is an essential tool in the construction industry. It's not, you cannot deny that, you cannot underestimate the importance of it. You should know that it's an essential tool in the construction industry. It decides in advance. That's why the word preliminary planning. Planning means in advance. It decides in advance what's to be done. For the improvement of the flow of work, the first step to be taken is the planning of the work in various stages. Yeah. Otherwise, you cannot expect quality. Otherwise, you cannot expect the work to be completed in time. For all the words we use, like coordination, everything, the first and foremost uh, step that is essential to be taken is in advance to be taken is the planning. So, for the improvement of the flow of the work, for the execution of the flow of the work, the first step to be taken is the planning of the work in various stages. Okay. Conditions necessary for the preliminary planning. Conditions necessary for the preliminary planning. What are the conditions which are necessary for the preliminary planning? Knowledge of work to be done and its necessity. See, without having possessing the knowledge for the work which has to be carried out, and without realizing the necessity of the work, you cannot be motivated, or you cannot even initiate what is to be done. Therefore, what are the conditions necessary for the preliminary planning? Knowledge of the work to be done and also its necessity. The amount of money to be spent and the best way of doing it. It's not enough that how much money is to be put into the process, how much money has to be spent, that too meaningfully, that is economically. The best way of doing it means economically. Yes. And then knowledge of the capacity of the establishment. You should know the capacity. You should be knowledgeable about the capacity. You should not only have the capacity, you should know your capacity. There is knowledge of the capacity building, capacity of the establishment. Similarly, knowledge of the preferential order or the sequence of doing it, of executing it. Okay, these are the various conditions necessary for the preliminary plan. Knowledge of the work to be done and its necessity, the amount of money to be spent and the best way of doing it, knowledge of the capacity of the establishment, knowledge of the preferential order of doing it. Now, the data required for planning, need for proposed project, okay, benefits of expected benefits expected after completion, details of site survey and soil, availability of material, manpower, and machinery. So, need for the proposed project, benefits, and that is benefits expected after completion, details of site survey and soil, availability of material, manpower, and machinery, and also funds available, communication facilities, weather conditions in the locality. All this forms the data. Yes, it's very important that you should have that this data. Data, it's not by title, but the complete details of it should be in your hand. Availability of water, power, etc. Okay, dependability of sources of material available, and their distance from the site, factors which may cause delay, types of skills required, etc., etc., etc. Yes, we'll revise once again. Okay, so now we are focusing on the data required for planning. Very, very important concept. So you should have a data about the need for the project, proposed project. You have to be able to justify why this project is necessary, the need or necessity, the purpose, why it is being done, why this particular project has to be anyway initiated, should be made in the form of a proposal to the government, why we should request for the budget for that. Is it a drinking water project or a road project or any kind of any infrastructure project for that matter? Why so? That means mm, since how long the people of that particular area are have been suffering uh, because of the non-availability of this project, a road or water or anything. So many things are there in civil engineering projects, hospitals, hostels, countries, everything. So many. So you should have a data to be very clear about the need for the project, propose the project, and after executing this project, what are the benefits expected after completion? You should have a data about it, a list of benefits, specific benefits, not intangible. Both, of course, tangible and intangible. Don't nothing to worry about it, but very specific. It must be specific. There should not be any ambiguity. So, details of site survey and soil. Yes, when you undertake, yeah, the site investigation for preliminary planning, a kind of site survey of the site, and also in terms of specifically about the soil also, you should prepare a document about the details of the soil survey and soil, I mean site survey and soil. Similarly, are you very clear about the availability of the material, manpower, and machinery? Can you get locally the material, manpower, and machinery? Is machinery available to you, or you have to hire them, or you have to procure them, purchase them? Is it too costly? How much time is required to purchase them? Do you have the people to operate them? Several things. So at least availability of material, manpower, and machinery, these are required for at this planning stage, of course. Okay, and then very important thing is M, vitamin M, that is funds availability, and whether the communication facilities in terms of the roads, at least the approach road, right from the approach road, because you should bring the materials to the site, should unload them there at the appropriate location in the site. Okay, the communication facilities, all communication facilities, and you should have an understanding about weather conditions in the locality. Also, is it too hot? Is it too? Does it involve too many rains in a rainy season, or the climatic variations, weather conditions, in terms of weather conditions in the locality? Also, you should have the ready to reckon the data ready to reckon about the funds availability, communication facilities, weather conditions, and the availability of water, power, very, very important resources, etc. Yes. And finally, yeah, dependability of the sources of material available. You may say that materials are available, but can you rely on them in terms of quality, in terms of the way they are made available, and the distance from the site? How much time does it take? Is it so necessary? Because if the project is to be completed very fast, you should have your material at your disposal right away. So, what are the factors which may cause delay? Delay factors. You should have a data about it also. And the types of skills required, you should not say in vague, in ambiguity. You must have a specific idea, very clear about the idea about the types of skills required. You should form them as a document instead, so that it forms as a data for required for planning. Good. So then, shall we proceed to the importance of planning? You can easily expect. So there is some common sense that is involved. See, it helps in anticipating the future course of events. Okay, some technical know-how, and also as a human being, as a social being, with the age, you can easily imagine and write them down. And that the planning helps us in anticipating the future course of events, prevents wastage of time, money, material, and also it ensures proper utilization of resources, and it further helps in deciding the organization needed to achieve those objectives. Good. It gives direction and attention on objectives. Further, it helps to offset change and uncertainty, to eliminate risk and losses. Yes, risk and losses have to be eliminated. If there is any uncertainty, okay, this particular planning will help you to offset the change and uncertainty, so that you can eliminate the risks and losses. So this planning helps you to lay down the procedures and policies, objectives, operations, everything you can lay down. Okay, it also helps to avoid all the bottlenecks to carry out the work smoothly. Okay, because you have all the data with you, it will help you, it will aid you to avoid, eliminate, remove any bottleneck in our way to carry out the work smoothly. That's a good thing. So this is what a lesson that we have carried out. Yes, good thing we have done today, because very important subject, and for all the civil engineers, uh, a thorough knowledge, a fundamental knowledge in terms of the planning, organizing, scheduling, controlling, coordinating. All these things are very essential. So in this lesson, we have focused our attention on the definition of the construction management. What does it do? What are the various aspects? What are the factors involved in construction management? Why, after all, we have to go for construction management? That is necessity of construction management. Okay, so right from that we have stepped into the next level of thinking, that is planning. So what is planning? Why is it necessary? What do you know about this preliminary planning? And of course, the importance of planning at the end. That's what we have understood in this lesson. Shall I summarize what we have understood in this lesson? Yes. So we have discussed several things, right from the meaning of the construction management, that is to say, definition of the construction management. What are the objectives? What are the advantages? What are the resources that are needed? And what is the necessary for the construction management? What are the factors involved in construction management? In a very clear and lucid way, we have discussed about all these things, and also we have discussed in the level two. In this lesson, of course, what I want to say is, from the introductory understanding, the conceptual understanding of the management, the word construction management. We also discussed in this lesson the very important concept, the planning, that is preliminary planning and its importance, the conditions necessary for planning, and also the data required for planning. All these things we have discussed, is it not? So let us consolidate our discussion in terms of certain quiz questions. Very simple. I may ask you 5 to 6 quiz questions, so that your understanding in this lesson at present will get consolidated. It's a beautiful way of interaction with each other. It's not that I just say to you something, but you should also be allowed to think, try to recall, recollect, remember, recapitulate whatever you have learned in this lesson. Say, construction management involves, is it planning? Is it only organizing? Is it only coordinating the various activities or all the above? If at all we have discussed, if you feel that we have discussed about this, you can try to recall the answer. Yeah, quickly you can proceed. Yes, it involves all the activities: planning, organizing, coordinating, of course, even controlling and several activities, scheduling. Yeah, so all the above. So the knowledge of construction management necessary. Is it only for contractor? Is it only for executing authority? Is it only for customer, or all the above? Yes, you are right. I'm sure you have picked up the right answer for this quiz question. The knowledge of construction management is not only necessary for contractor, not only for executing authority, to the customer also at all levels. The knowledge of construction management is essential to be known to understand. In any construction or project management, planning and scheduling are accomplished before the work starts, or they're accomplished before that is during execution, or they're accomplished, that is planning and scheduling are accomplished after completing the work. Is it before the work, or during the work, or after completing the work, or at any time? What is that you can say about this, your answer? In any project management, planning and scheduling are accomplished before the work, during the work, after the work, or at any time. It must be accomplished. Your planning, your scheduling before the work starts. Yes. The first step involved in construction management is coordination, planning, organizing, none of the above. What is that first step involved? Very first step involved in the construction management. Yes, it is the very word planning, very process planning. Even you can say preliminary planning also. You can use that word. That's very, very essential. It sets right everything. Okay, but this must be achieved before the work starts. So I think it's last quiz question for you, and at the end I'll give you few questions that are frequently asked in examination so that you can note them down. Okay. At the time of preliminary planning, the following is to be submitted. See, the underline the word preliminary planning. Be cautious about that. So at that stage, at this stage of preliminary planning, what is the document that is to be submitted? Is it preliminary estimate, project report, feasibility report? None of the above. You can think. You can use your common sense. You can use your understanding that you have gained in this during this lesson. At the time of preliminary planning, the following is to be submitted: preliminary estimate, project report, feasibility report. None of the above. It is preliminary estimate. Yeah, this is the last slide. We have come to the end of the lesson. Please note down these five frequently asked questions. Define construction management. State the objectives of construction management. Describe the need for construction management. What are the factors involved in construction management? Describe briefly the preliminary planning and its importance. All these questions, you please note it down. I'm sure you have understood the essence of uh, the title of the lesson, that is Introduction to the Construction Management. I'm sure is you will not only digest but also assimilate the idea, the very idea, the core idea about the various aspects we have discussed in this lesson. So I'm sure you have, think you have noted down these frequently asked questions. Okay, take few seconds more, do it fast. Be in touch with the subject. It's not that you just study them theoretically, because civil engineering is such a subject which you come across at each and every step of your life. When you just step out of your house, you can clearly come across and have an interaction about all these concepts. Your outlook and observation power should improve in order to really understand all these concepts. I wish you all the best. Okay, students, we will meet in the next class to take up the next part of the subject, that is construction management. and entrepreneurship, which is one of the finest subjects of the fifth semester, with the subject code 18C 502C. Thank you so much. See you.